Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the evidence you're about to present in the matter and hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Your Honor, are you judging me? And no law is above God's law. So I cannot honor any of your laws. It supersedes every single law that you guys have given me. I am friends with the IRS.
If you guys enjoy content like this, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because it helps me out a lot. And now let's get back to the video because we've got a very entertaining court hearing today featuring this completely unhinged girl in the top left who's been brought into court for failing to pay around $2,000 in court fees. And her entire defense revolves around claiming she's not a citizen and that God's law somehow overrides everyone else's law, despite the fact that she's been shoplifting and involved in all kinds of wild behavior. So yeah, this one is extremely entertaining, and the judge is a very calm, almost unbothered demeanor, which makes it even funnier watching him react to her nonsense. And by the end, he handed down a pretty solid sentence that honestly feels deserved because she's clearly out of her mind. But shout out to Court Nerd for this clip since we're going to be reacting to it. I'll jump in with commentary here and there, but let's go. Ahead and dive into this court hearing and watch this insane attempt at a defense get shut down by both the attorney and the judge.
Incarcerated until the $2,755.40 is paid, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I am asking for attorney fees for today, Your Honor, and even me having to file this motion and continue to, I guess, seek attorney fees from Ms. Lott, Your Honor.
What are you asking for today?
Your Honor, Your Honor, for today, Your Honor, I'm asking for $1,500, Your Honor. And I can provide my affidavit to the court, Your Honor. We had to communicate with the court, Your Honor. I've been practicing law since 2008, Your Honor. I've been in good standing since that time, Your Honor. I charged my client a flat fee of the $1,500 just to try to see, just so we can file this motion for incarceration.
All right, Ms. Lott, raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the evidence you're about to present in the matter and hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Your Honor, are you judging me?
You want to call it that, but I assume you want to testify on your own behalf.
Yes, I do. And if the attorney is not going to be sworn in, that is a conflict of interest. And I have filed motions. I filed a quo warranto because I have searched for law licenses and I have not found any. There's been no true judges since 1789. And the United States filed a Chapter 11 in 1933, which lost their sovereignty as a government. So I can't even be heard here. I have asked the court to provide me documentation stating that this is an Article 3 court. I have not gotten anything back from the judge with any type of documentation from the Attorney General, from the Secretary of State. You guys have not had permission to try me, and no law is above God's law. So I cannot honor any of your laws. It supersedes every single law that you guys have given me. I have tried to settle this in court. I have filed a fiduciary relationship, 56. I am friends with the IRS. I have attempted to settle with a $20 money order because there is no money with the court, and everything was sent back. So rejection of payment is payment, Your Honor. And my religion strongly prohibits any satanic laws or rituals, and I cannot serve two masters. So either I don't even know what to do here in this matter because I have asked to be tried in an Article 3 court. This is not a court of equity. God's law trumps all laws made by man. God also says no man should be judged or you will be judged. This is my religion. I have not broken any of God's laws. I have not committed any crimes. I have not harmed my offspring. I am the first lien holder on my child's estate. So there is nothing that I can do for Miss LaFleur, and I will not be paying it because my God told me not to. He gave me the instructions on what to do, and you guys refused it. You guys refused my quo warranto because it wasn't written in the way that you accept it, but I am not under your laws. I am friends with the IRS. I have sent out my documentation. I have my own contract with myself. I don't have a contract with you guys. I have not signed anything, and I am not a 14th Amendment corporate war citizen. I am a natural person. That is what I have to say.
You have any questions for Ms. Lott, Ms. St. Fleur?
Yes, Ms. Lott, were you present in court for the petition for a legitimation with Tariq Crump?
Ms. LaFleur, can you provide me your
It's St. Fleur. It's St. Fleur. It's not Little Fleur. If we're gonna quote all of these articles, make sure you get my name right. It's St. Fleur.
St. Fleur.
It's St. Fleur. Well, just were you in court? I mean, I'm not sure if any of the articles could tell me, but were you in court?
Questions. I have no further answers for any of your questions. I said what I said. This law does not trump God's law.
She honestly talked a whole lot without really saying anything at all, and I still don't know how the judge managed to keep a straight face, whether it's because he's been around long enough to have seen everything or because this girl is just on a completely different wavelength. But she's very clearly delusional, and it's almost funny how much she speaks while delivering nothing meaningful. And while I can somewhat understand the basic idea behind the sovereign law argument in the sense that nobody enjoys being controlled by the government, that reasoning completely collapses when you're intentionally breaking the law, shoplifting, piling up court fees, and then showing up in court for crimes you actually committed. Because at that point, it's totally reasonable for the court to either jail her or force her to pay those fees one way or another. So her argument is essentially useless since this isn't a situation where she's being framed or falsely accused, which is the only scenario where that kind of defense might even begin to make sense. She clearly committed the crimes, and you can see straight through what she's trying to do, which really makes you question whether she's genuinely unwell or just pretending. And honestly, to me, it feels like she's actually just unhinged rather than faking it. And based solely on this short Zoom court hearing, I genuinely think she should be locked up or at least evaluated because her mindset is absolutely unbelievable. She's so detached from reality. And the fact that the judge hasn't said much yet is honestly laughable. But this really feels like a modern issue with people today, influenced by media, victim mentalities, and all of that. And while I'm not pro-government or blindly pro-law, there comes a point where you simply have to take responsibility for your actions, because if you commit a crime, you need to own it and face the consequences. And this girl just comes across as completely out of her mind. So let's dive into the
10 days to pay this $2,755.40. Do you have any proof that any payment was made?
I have the proof here, and this was sent back to me. This is the money order that I sent to the court.
That's
Your
that
law-
$20 thing you said?
Yes, it is. That is the settlement that is written in your laws. I did send the thing. They sent it back, and refusal of payment is payment. So I will handle it with the IRS from here.
Well, $20 doesn't equal $2,755.40.
Or any court fees cannot supersede to $20, and that is what I paid as a natural person. I don't know about any U.S. citizen. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a natural person and a private American. I've not committed any crimes under God's law. I have not stolen. I have not bared false witnesses. I have not killed anyone. I have not dishonored my mother and my father, and I have not put any man before God, and I will not put any of you guys before God either.
Fine. All right, Ms. Lott, I'm going to find you in contempt of court for failure to pay the $2,755.40. Order you incarcerated, that is jailed, until you've paid the money.
I will be taking it up with the IRS, and I will be filing liens because you guys do not have liens over myself, my estate, or my child. So
You'll take it up with the sheriff first.
no, I will not, because the sheriff does not have any jurisdiction.
Turn yourself in, or the sheriff will come out and arrest you.
Jurisdiction over me, and the sheriff does not have any jurisdiction over
That's
me.
fine. Once you're released, I'll give you 90 days to pay an additional $1,500 for attorney's fees incurred by the plaintiff for today's proceeding. And I'll ask Ms. St. Fleur to submit the order.
Will do, Your Honor.
And include in that, the sheriff will notify the court when Ms. Lott has been arrested.
Can you guys provide me with evidence that you are Article 3 court and not?
I honestly don't understand what her strategy was here, because it really seems like she thought she could walk into court, act crazy, and somehow avoid consequences, as if the judge wasn't eventually going to drop the hammer on her. And while the things she was saying are exactly what you'd expect from someone who isn't in their right mind, that doesn't change the fact that the sentence felt well-deserved, especially since she ended up getting 6 months over a $2,000 court fee tied to shoplifting or whatever crime she committed. And to me, she's a textbook example of a victim mentality mindset that feels way too common these days, where people latch onto that role and ride it endlessly. But putting that aside, I have to give serious credit to the judge because he handled the entire situation like a pro, completely unbothered and treating it like just another day at work, barely saying anything until the end and staying totally no nonsense, which is something I honestly wish more people did in everyday life instead of letting emotions take over. Because in this case, he stuck to the facts while she chose to play crazy instead of having someone properly defend her. And that decision completely backfired since the judge saw straight through her nonsense and handed down the sentence. And I really don't understand why anyone would rather go to jail than simply take responsibility. Because if she had been even slightly reasonable, she probably could have avoided jail time and just paid a heavier fine, but her smugness and arrogance pushed it too far. And while I personally think prison can sometimes straighten people out, I honestly don't know if it will change someone like her, since she seems deeply set in this belief that she's above everyone else and untouchable. But to end on a broader note, this whole situation is a reminder that if you stay out of trouble, you don't need to pretend to be crazy. Because most people who play the victim role today aren't actually victims,